We just got to play within the white lines. If we do that, if we play our game, it won't be close. Well, I guess they didn't play their game, Adam, because Vandy did lose to Bama in our game of the week this week. So, man, what a game! It's a pretty wild game in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I just figure I should make that quote because I just wanted to point out a couple key things about this. It was pretty much Pavia's fault in a way that Vandy lost this game, and I'll tell you why. Two turnovers in the red zone during crucial moments of the game.
Mhm.
He had a pick and he had a fumble in the game. Um, and I know that's just wild to get right into that and start out, but I had to start with the quote, man. You know, we'd have been hearing about the quote and some things going into this game with some trash talk. To be fair, that's Pavia's way. I'm not going to discredit him there and say that he wasn't just being himself. So, hey,
Yep.
it's been working for him most of the season. So I'll give him some credit to that. But it's funny because I think we both predicted this to not be a one score game even. And we were right, man. I mean, Bama beat them, 30 to 14.
Yep.
To kind of get into those turnovers a little bit, man, I'm not going to lie. I thought we could have been wrong maybe in the beginning. Vandy went up 7-0, and then they
Yep.
had an interception, and then they were going marched right down the field, man. And I was like, maybe we were
Yep.
wrong. The Vandy might be
Yep.
the real deal on this. Pavia had a turnover there within the red zone. That was a key one right there, just because, I mean, right there in the red zone, man, fumbles the ball, and it gave Bama the momentum. I mean, they weren't going to score a touchdown there because it was a third down play, but it would have probably been a field goal, assuming they made that 10-0 right there. Would have been a big start, but um, that little fumble right there kind of shifted that momentum for Bama and got them right. They went right back down the field and tied it up. And later on, when he threw the interception, they were losing 20 to 14. So there was a chance right there late to kind of
Right.
take a lead, and then you kind of went from there. It's kind of how this game went. So it wasn't. I will say the 30 to 14 might be a little bit. It was a late score later in the game. So it's a little closer than what the score resembled. I will give Vandy
Yeah.
that. I do think Vandy is a team to watch out for, though. I do think they're talented.
Yep.
Um, so I'm not gonna harp on them too much and say that they're not a talented team or they got destroyed or anything like that.
Right.
Definitely closer than what it seemed there towards the end. But man, those two turnovers. I mean, what do you think of this game, man?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you talk trash, it only really works in your favor if you're able to back it up. And Pavia has historically backed up some of his trash talk, but it ran its course, so to speak, in a game like this. Looking back at what they've done thus far in the season, I mean, you've got to win over a pathetic Virginia Tech team. You've got to win over a overrated coming into the season South Carolina team. So this game right here was definitely Vanderbilt's first true test, and it being on the road didn't don't matters at all. But yeah, when you're talking trash and you're backing it up, we can overlook it. The fans can overlook it. We can say, okay, whatever, they're doing their thing. But when you finally hit that brick wall, you get exposed pretty quickly. Something that I thought was pretty funny, besides the quotes and everything leading up to the game. And my aunt actually pointed this out to me because she's a Bama fan. I hadn't seen this, but apparently there's before the game in front of the entire stadium down there in Tuscaloosa, Diego Pavia was practicing like kneeling the ball, like like taking snaps and kneeling the ball like a
Yeah,
victory formation. Uh,
yeah,
that's that's a different level of cockiness right there. Practicing a victory formation on the road in Alabama
yeah.
in front of that entire crowd. I thought that's a little distasteful, to be honest with you. But aside from all the antics and Diego's personality and immaturity, if you want to potentially call it that, I think this game just kind of boils down to a tale of two halves. Because if you look at the first half, like you said, I mean, Vandy really did control that narrative for most of the first half. Um, they actually led quite a bit in that first half as well. And, after halftime, it's not like Bama took off and just destroyed them, but Vanderbilt couldn't answer any of the opportunities that were laid out in front of them in that second half. So you got Bama coming away with the win there. One of the key things that I thought was really impressive about Alabama, this statistic right here is Ty Simpson actually threw his first interception of the entire season, and I think it was Alabama's first turnover of the entire season in this game. So this is
That's
their
wild.
fifth game. Yeah, to go through through 4 games without a turnover and only have one to show for after 5 games. That's pretty impressive, man. I think that's really
Yeah,
impressive. And I
yeah,
think
man.
Ty Simpson looks good. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, in this game specifically, it was 23 for 31, 340 yards with 2 touchdowns and one
Yeah.
interception. Um, and then, of course, the running back Miller had 136 rush yards and a touchdown as well to pack onto that. Um, and Pavia,
Yeah,
it
that's
wasn't that
something
he
else
was,
I wanted to bring up was their running back Jam Miller. He
yeah,
looks good too. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but
no,
I
no,
had that
yeah,
wrote down as well.
yeah, man, he did. And he had a big game, man. He had definitely had moments where it was just like you could tell
Yep.
they're really glad to have him there, and the rush game and the passing was hitting on all cylinders for Bama and that. Um, and in the second half, Vanderbilt was moving the ball a lot. That second half's kind of where it slowed down for them.
Yep.
Pavia was 21 for 36, 198 yards, had a touchdown, but 2 interceptions, and then of course the fumble.
Yep.
He did have 58 rushing yards, so he was able to get some chunk rushing plays as well. It wasn't that it was such a terrible game, but it wasn't great. And when you're talking like he was, that you're going to get the catch the flack for that because it wasn't. A great game by any means. So I think Vanderbilt got humbled a little bit in this one. I do
Yep.
still think they're a good team. It's not that they're garbage or anything, and they're definitely better than we still thought
Yeah.
they were in the beginning of
100%.
the year for sure. So, but again, it's kind of the perfect storm. We kind of predicted it, and it and
Yep.
it did happen in this one. Bama, got their revenge, and they were ready for this game for sure.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and we definitely had some other notable games this weekend. I want to go ahead and just touch on this for you. You went to the App State game this weekend. We're gonna have a bonus episode come out this week. Adam knows the most about it. He was there, and he got some interviews in with some fans and even some players, and
Oh
just
yeah.
uh, just gonna be a cool episode. I'm excited. I haven't seen this content myself, so I'm excited to see it. Anything you want to touch on that before we get rolling in these notable games?
Yeah, just real quick, went down to Boone, North Carolina with my cousin. We do that annually, so it's like a tradition of ours. But the Mountaineers got a win over Oregon State, 27-23, an electric game, crazy atmosphere, really tight fought game. App State came out to a quick lead pretty
Mhm.
quickly there in the first, but here comes Oregon State. They start creeping back, and then it ended up being a really good, tight, exciting game on the edge of your seat there towards the end. But what you guys can look out for in the next couple days, I'm not really sure when we're gonna release it. Still got to chop up some of the footage and stuff like that. But things you can look out for is um, just kind of like the vibe around the campus and the stadium outside of it before the game. Got a couple pre-game interviews with some fans that we met outside the stadium there and on the way to the stadium. Midway through the game, I did go out and about in the stadium and interview fans at halftime. So you get to kind of see a pre-game, mid-game, and then after the game as well. There's some really special footage there. Interviewed a couple players
It's cool, man.
and things of that nature. So there's definitely it's going to be a really cool episode. I don't know if we're going to actually consider it an episode, but it's just like bonus behind the scenes game day content for you guys. We're going to try to continue to do stuff like that when we have the opportunity, but be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, for sure. Just some bonus footage. We'll call it that,
Yeah.
bonus footage
Yeah.
for that. Anytime we get an opportunity to do something like that, it's really exciting. This first time we've got to really do that. Or
Hmm.
I was not a part of this one, but Adam, definitely proud of you, man. It's gonna be cool to
Yeah. I
see.
was down there representing the podcast hard, man, telling everyone
Yeah,
about it, got some subscribers out of it. And I hope they follow the channel and continue to watch our content, man.
for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, I can see some of those going up there when you text me about it and I looked at it. So very cool. And like you said, exciting game. App State did get the win
Oh
there.
yeah,
Um, an awesome place, just a cool atmosphere.
it is.
Um, Getting into some of these other games, one of our big notable games was Miami playing FSU. They had to go down to Florida State. Miami did win that game 28-22. I
Yeah,
will say that score makes it look much closer than what that game felt like. Miami dominated for 3 quarters.
yeah,
Florida State scored 19 in the fourth quarter. Now,
yeah.
Miami relaxed a lot in that game. Some of that, you
Hmm.
would thought would have been some garbage time, but towards the end, it got a little hairy there. Florida State ended up kicking a field goal because they were driving down. They were down 2 scores, so they went ahead and kicked the field goal, and went for the onside kick. Had they got that onside kick, you're looking at a 6 point game there.
Yeah,
Definitely could have been interesting. But I will say Miami definitely dominated for the first 3 quarters.
yeah.
Miami's good, man. They're good at football.
Man,
Um,
scary
Carson
team.
Beck was 20 for 27, 240 yards or 241 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Um, and the
yeah,
defense, for the first most of that game was dominated. It's kind of Florida State got in that desperation mode, and honestly, I think that made them better,
yeah.
trying to hurry it up and play, in that desperation mode of scoring. So kudos to Florida State for making it close to the end. But again, if you didn't watch that game and you seen that, you would have thought it was a lot closer than what it truly was throughout the game. Um, I did. I bet on Miami to cover the spread. They started out early, when Miami went down 3-0. Um, I think the spread dropped to like 2.5, and I took Miami on that. Thought confident about that, and then I ended up staying up to finish that game because I seen in the fourth quarter it was like coming back. I was like, I'd put it away. I was going to go to bed, and so I had to watch it all because it got real close.
Yeah.
But Florida State scored. So,
Yeah,
but
that's
again,
scary, man. I mean, when you put in that much work through 3 quarters, you cannot take your foot off the gas.
no,
I don't know what the mentality was. I don't know if everyone thought they had the game in the bag or whatever, but I mean, there's a couple key things that happened in the fourth quarter that, I mean, if it goes Florida State's way, we're talking about a completely different scenario here. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say this, and you said that Miami's a good team. They're good at football, obviously. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. You heard it here first. I think Miami is the best team in college football right now. Um,
same dude.
I,
I agree,
I
and we hadn't even discussed that, but I
yeah,
agree.
I think that Miami's the best team in college football right now. Got a couple notes over here. I just basically say that the defense is scary good. They play so fast, so physical. They give
Mhm.
multiple helmets to the ball every time the opposing team catches the ball or has the ball in their hands. And Carson Beck, man, he's and I really don't like jumping on his coattail or anything like that because in the past I have it may not be on record, but I have talked my fair share of crap about Carson Beck in the past, especially
Yeah,
when he was at Georgia.
same.
But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Carson Beck is looking as good, if not better, than he ever has in his entire career. When you're clicking on
Agree.
all cylinders like that on both sides of the ball, that's scary, man. That's a scary combination for
Yeah,
the rest of the college football landscape. Yeah, I think Miami is the best team in college football. And then to add to everything on top of all that, they've got a true freshman wide receiver, Malachi Tony, I believe is his name. Yeah,
was he number 10 maybe in the
Yes,
game? Yeah, dude.
Malachi Tony, true freshman, not red shirt, not
Yeah,
transfer, true freshman wide receiver, 7 catches, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. The kid is absolutely electric.
yeah.
Man,
And
what a
keep
team!
in
What a
mind
team!
he would have had another very it was a long touchdown play that was actually called back due to a penalty,
Yep, that
just to
is
let you
right.
know.
That is right.
Had he had that, man, it would have added even more. He's electric, man. No, I
Something
agree.
else that you did say real quick, you did say something about the end of the game and the field goal and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, so I watched the highlights. Obviously, I didn't get to watch much of college football this weekend due to
yeah.
the trip. But just watching the highlights, I don't know the context of what was going on in the situation, but from what I could understand, Florida State had the ball at the end of the game on Miami's 18-yard line with 25 seconds left. Okay, they opt for a field goal on first
Yeah.
down. Why not try to get a couple quick plays out of bounds, whatever, and try to score in that moment? You know, a field goal is not going to win it. You're basically
Yeah.
banking on an onside kick in
Yeah.
order to try to win the game.
Well, I think
That's an odd decision.
the onside kick was going to actually have to happen either way. Um,
Okay.
so that because they were down by They were down 28-19, so they were down by 9 points.
Okay.
So regardless, the onside kick was having to happen, and
Gotcha.
they would have had to have a field goal. Now I do get what you're saying though. I think I might have. I know time wise is a factor right there, but if
True.
you get an onside kick, you have the ball a lot closer. Um,
It's true.
in the field goal range than if you don't. So I still don't know why maybe take a shot from there at the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have a touchdown
See,
regardless, right? At
right.
some point.
Yeah. At some point. So I'm thinking like maybe at least one shot at the end zone there to see if you score a
Yep.
touchdown, you get the onside kick, you're a lot closer in the field goal range. Now,
Yep.
if you didn't score there, you don't want the time to drop down too much more. So you might be thinking Hail Mary situation. At least if you get the onside kick, you have a chance
Yeah.
um, of hitting it. I do think maybe one
Makes
more shot
sense.
would have been all right. But there was a two-score game at that point, so they did have to
Okay.
go for an onside kick.
Yeah,
Um,
because I mean, you're not gonna have like even if you do what they did,
yeah,
went for the field goal, got the onside kick, just like you said, you're not gonna be in a position with that much time on the clock like they did at the
yeah,
beginning of it to be that close to the end zone.
right,
So I don't know. It's odd. That's why the
yeah.
coaches make the money they make. I mean, I'm nowhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I get it. They had to have the field goal anyways. I still
Right.
maybe personally think not a not a coach, but I might have like thought maybe one shot to the end zone just to see.
Try. Just
You get
try.
the touchdown there, then it makes it a lot easier to get a field goal. Um, but I guess they were thinking the time was just so limited. We go ahead
Yeah,
and kick this field goal. At least we have a chance to throw a Hail Mary if we get the onside.
that
Your
makes
chances
sense.
are super limited at that point. And then, of course, I was fine with it because the field goal pretty much assumed they weren't going to break that spread, and I didn't want that spread
Yeah.
either. So I was like, yeah, this is a good call.
I
But yeah,
think we can I think we can both agree on something though, regardless of the outcome of this game or really any game. We got to give Florida State some credit, man. Just based on and we've said this on the podcast so many times, but it just rings so true. The season that they had last
yeah,
year and the success that they found to this point this year is just
yeah,
unreal. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's
yeah.
it's crazy to me.
They don't quit either. This team doesn't quit,
Yep.
and they don't have the toughest schedule left. So I see Florida State winning quite a few games going forward. Um, but yeah, that was a good game over. I mean, it was dominant game by Miami overall. Ended up
Uh-huh.
being kind of cool at the end. They see it get close. Um, and then another game we had put on our list there that I want to mention was Texas A&M beat Mississippi State 31-9. So close game in the first half. I will say when I was watching, I was like, okay, close game. They did end up Texas A&M was dominant second half. They ended up winning the game 31-9. Um, so kind of wanted it to be a closer game because Tennessee had such a close game with them.
Right.
But again, Texas A&M did struggle with them in that first half. So Mississippi State still is not a terrible team. They're better than I think what people thought they were going to be.
Uh,
I just think that they were at Texas A&M, a little different situation than been at home, like Tennessee
yeah.
playing them at home. Probably an overtime loss to Tennessee could have took the life out of them a little bit going into another tough game. Man, they had another ranked matchup. This was a top 10 matchup, so not a lot to say
Yeah.
about that game other than Texas A&M pretty much dominated that.
Yeah. It kind of really makes you wonder how good Texas A&M really is too. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a team that I've been keeping my eye on
yeah.
and
They're
not
like
really
sneak.
not really giving them the credit that
Yeah,
they deserve. But
yeah, because they're number five team in the nation right now. I'm pretty sure,
that's
right? Number five in the
that's what I'm saying,
recent.
man. I mean, they're
Yeah,
sneaky good, dude.
sneaky good. They're number five right now, and
Yep,
they're
top
a team,
five.
but they're on your schedule, man. If you're playing them, you got to watch out because like I said, they're sneaky good. And just quietly sitting in there in that ranked spot like that.
And that's the scary thing about them too. I mean,
Yeah,
not really getting that much media attention. I mean, your SEC coverage, like sports channels and people that
yeah,
talk about the SEC, obviously they're shining light on them. But nationally, I mean,
yeah,
they're not really getting all that much talk. So those are the ones you got to watch out for.
yeah. And they're doing what they're supposed to do, so they're right there.
Hmm.
So another fun little segment that we get to have this week. We don't always get to have this segment, but we definitely do this week. It's time for upset alert. So man, what an upset we have. We have a couple upsets, but one in particularly is is a major upset. Dude, number 7 Penn State loses to a winless UCLA team who just fired their entire coaching staff, man. This team should have been in shambles, man. There's no
Yeah.
reason that this should have been a game, to be honest with you. And the whole time watching, like I was kind of going back and forth on this game, and I was seeing the score, and you're thinking, dang, UCLA just jumped up like was fast, man. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
like 17 to nothing or something like that. But you start seeing a little bit of a comeback starting with Penn State, and especially when they blocked that punt for a touchdown, I thought, okay, Penn State's back in this. They're going to run them
Right.
the second half. This will end up being not that close. But it just never happened that way, man. They lost 42 to 37. Um, and another thing, Penn State with a terrible call on 4th and 2 down in deep in the UCLA territory to try to go get this game tied up. Because the only reason there would have been 42-35 at that point when this happened. The 37 was UCLA was punting the ball away, and they just took a safety in the back of the end zone. But they took so much time off the clock because no one was there. Um, just Penn State didn't look ready, man. It's
No.
like they had that big loss to Oregon in overtime, and they just I don't know. It's like they come out hung over or something on this
Yeah.
game and
That's the best
just
way to
not ready.
describe it, man. Having that loss against Oregon kind of sucked the life out of the program.
Yeah,
I'm not saying forever or anything. I know that sounds dramatic,
yeah,
but in that moment, who knows how
yeah.
long this is going to be like a lasting
This is a
effect on them. Yeah, I mean,
bad loss. Bad
at
loss.
halftime, down 27-7 against a team that hasn't won a single game.
And doesn't have their coaches, man.
Yeah, yeah.
In shambles.
That's the crazy part about
Yeah.
it. And, shout out Penn State's defense. I mean, they made Nico Iamaleava look like a freaking Heisman contender out
Yeah,
here with 5 touchdowns.
he's looking ridiculous, man. Threw 2 touchdowns, ran for 3, run all over them.
Yeah,
Wild, man.
the entire UCLA, this is Nico and their running backs combined, rushed for almost 300 yards against Penn State. Nuts,
Amazing.
nuts.
Nuts, man.
That that's I think I texted you about it. To me, that's the most shocking thing that's happened. I
Yeah,
mean, when Florida State beat Bama week 1, that was pretty shocking.
yeah.
But now that we've seen how things have played out and we realize, okay, Florida
You're like,
State is a
okay.
good team, it's kind of
Yeah.
more understandable. This right here, there's nothing that you can convince me that this is normal, that this is just I, this is one of those times where when you're checking scores on your phone, you think that there might be some sort of glitch or something on
Yeah.
the phone or
I
the
mean,
app or whatever. So you kind
yeah,
of close out of it and open it up again and it's still there.
yeah.
Double
I
take, man.
mean,
Double take.
terrible loss. That's all I got to say about it. They know a lot of other things I'd say other than, um, I mean, this is probably. I mean, I know that technically it's 2 losses they have, but they got to play Ohio State later in the season. This Penn State ain't getting in the playoffs, and I'm just that right there sealed the deal for them on that. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess you gotta move on from a loss, man, and get ready to play, and that's what they didn't do. And no matter who it is, and they
Yep.
probably thought they were gonna go in and just roll them, and just that'd be it, but
Yep.
didn't
That's
happen.
probably what it was. I mean, coming off the Oregon loss, that was a tight enough game and
Yeah,
a big time opponent to where, okay, you can take that one on the chin. Let's move on.
yeah,
That's not what happened. This isn't the
no,
type of loss that you can just swallow and keep moving on.
no,
This will have lasting effects, I
no.
would say, for the rest of the season.
I'd say you're right, man, for sure. Season changer right there. Um, Getting into another loss. That to me wasn't it was an upset. I was predicting Texas to win. You were predicting Florida, so you had it predicted. I knew it was going to be a close game. I didn't think it was going to.
Yep.
It didn't shock me that Texas struggled with Florida's defense. But
Right.
Florida, man, beat Texas 29-21. It
Yep.
was at Florida in the swamp. Dangerous game for Texas, and it proved to be. Couple key points I will say. I was surprised that it was 29-21.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I thought there would be a lower score than that.
Yeah.
Um, and in a way, Manning definitely struggled. He was sacked though 6 times. Florida
Yep.
had 6 sacks on the game. Manning did have 263 yards passing and had some moments. I know he had a really pretty touchdown pass in that game.
Yeah.
Um, so not the worst game in the world. Florida just played. I mean, he sacked them 6 times. It obviously wasn't the best. I'm not going to give much praise to Manning. It's not like he played great or anything, but it seemed like both quarterbacks seemed to be throwing a little better than they had been throughout the year.
Yep.
Because
That's true.
Lagway, especially, he had 298 yards
That's
um,
true.
passing, but so quite a bit of passing between the two quarterbacks I didn't expect. That's over 500 yards between both of them.
Mhm.
Um, I will say a big thing for Florida that I want to add, I think, was a key to winning this. Not only your defense, getting 6 sacks and everything. We knew the defense was going to be the key to that. Um, but they got their receiver Dallas Wilson back. He had 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was
Yes.
electric. That was a different offense with him on the field
Yep.
um, than how they played. So I think that was a big key factor in their offense
Yeah.
doing well in this game because I was surprised that Texas defense didn't hold them better than they did either. I thought that defense had been tough all year. I thought, maybe I don't know, maybe they've got a little tired as the year goes, but definitely surprising in the like the score being higher. What do you think on that game, man? You were the one that predicted this game, so you had Florida winning this.
Yeah. I'll just start off by saying I think we both knew that Florida's defense was legit, regardless of their
Hmm.
record. I mean, their defense is the only reason why they were even in some of those games that they
Yep.
lost. Their offense hadn't done a single thing thus far to this point in the season. But I did mention in the last episode who will have that click moment. You go through a season struggling, the media is talking about you, everybody that has a podcast is talking about you, ESPN's talking about you,
Yep.
talking about how you're a bust. We've said it. We fell victim
Yep.
to it. We said it. But if you're a true big time player and you're on a big time team, you would like to think that at some point, regardless of the valleys that you're in, you would have to have a rise at some point, that click moment, like we've been calling it. And Florida just had that click moment offensively, man. They put up almost 500 yards of total offense against Texas. They
Yep.
didn't even put those type of numbers up against some of the cupcake teams that they played earlier in the season when they got a W against that. What was it? Some sort
It's
of
like Northern Illinois, something their first game. I don't know who it was. I can't
like
remember.
Long Island High School or
Oh yeah,
something.
I was like, yeah, didn't even know they had a college, but yeah,
So yeah, I mean, you didn't even put up numbers like that against that team,
yeah,
and you come out the gate swinging and put up 457 total yards to be exact. Um, I knew that regardless of what the offense did, Florida's and I bank my prediction on Florida's defense. I knew regardless of what the offense did, I knew that their defense would pretty much take care of Arch with his struggles that he's had so far. But yeah, man, the Gators, what can you say? I mean, they
yeah.
finally rose to the occasion. Is it enough to save the entire season? Is it enough to save Billy Napier's job? That's to be determined. I mean, I don't know. I don't have that answer. Only
This
time will
doesn't
tell.
get any easier with the Texas A&M team next weekend at Texas A&M. So.
No, it doesn't get any easier. The with Florida and the way everything's working out with them, they do have the 3 losses, but in the SEC, man, I want to say, are they still potentially alive in the SEC?
They lost to LSU,
Okay,
so
I
they
think
do
that's
have
their
one.
only
They have an
loss. I think
SEC
they're I
loss,
think
yeah.
they're just a
Because
one-loss
yeah,
SEC team.
yeah, because the other one would have been Miami, Southern
And
Florida.
then,
So
yep.
yeah, so one
So
and one in
tech
the SEC.
so technically, I mean, it's a long shot, but I mean, like if the playoffs started tomorrow, yeah, they might be out, but we have a long season ahead of us. And I'm not sitting here advocating for the Florida Gators. I'm just saying
Yeah, I
it
got you.
just goes to show you how crazy this season
Yeah,
is to this point.
yeah. Because if they win out with this toughest schedule, then you got to start questioning. Highly unlikely that happens with how difficult their schedule is, but
Right.
yeah,
Well, Texas is in the same boat as well. They've got 2 losses now, right?
Yeah, Ohio
but
State and then
but
Florida.
only one of them's an SEC loss. So I mean, these teams do still have something to play for. Both teams.
Hey, Billy Napier, maybe he just needed to be have his back against the wall or something, like
Man,
last year. I don't know.
I have seen so many funny memes about that.
It's like he's got
The,
to
the,
be like just this close to losing his job.
yeah, I've been
So
hearing him. Somebody called him bye week Billy, and
yeah,
like there was
it's
a picture
crazy,
of Nick
man.
Saban, and it was like, "This is Billy Napier when his job's on the line," and it was a
Yeah,
picture of Nick.
for real. So, all right, we'll see how the rest of their season goes.
That's so
I know we got a
hilarious.
buddy who's really hoping for it. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah. And this same buddy, let's just go ahead and say his name. His name's Ty. He
yeah,
predicted Florida to beat Texas before the season even started.
yeah, he did get that one right. He's not been right on much this year, but he did get that one right. So we do have a little board for him at work where we're keeping up with this prediction and what actually happened. But hey, shout out Ty to that one. He got that
Yeah.
one right. Um, Kind of moving on here. That was, a lot of the games we really wanted to talk about. It
Yep.
was a good week, man. We had some upsets, had some good games. So a good week of football. Um, there have been some shakeup with the AP poll. The AP poll come out, so we got to talk about it. Tennessee finally moved, even on a bye week.
Yeah.
They moved to 12.
Yep.
I just want to say I'm happy with that. I think that's a good
Yep.
spot.
Yep.
I'll take 12. I think from how those seasons went so far. Um, I don't want them to get too high at the moment, anyways, because I want
Mm-mm.
that to kind of play with a little bit of edge on them, and
Yep.
I think that it's a good spot for how they've played and what they've done so far this season. Number
Yeah,
12 is perfect.
I say keep letting the teams at the top take care of themselves.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. It'll all
let the
work itself
dominoes
out.
fall.
We got tough teams. Soon enough, it'll work out for us when we get up there. As long as they keep winning. So, like I said, number 12 is a good spot for them. A key part that I want to mention is both Penn State and Texas are out, and I thought they both should be taken out. Especially Penn State, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Texas, maybe you could try to argue something, but I'm glad the AP poll actually did that.
Yep.
Because Penn State definitely didn't deserve to be there, and we didn't
Man,
think our Texas was a top 10 team at least at all. So
no.
um,
I mean,
I'm glad with
the
that.
only two teams that Texas has played that are of any caliber, they lost both of them.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm happy with that. Them two getting out. I don't know about what do you think? You agree?
yeah,
Obviously,
I
yeah.
100% agree. And speaking of that, I want to share this quick fun fact. Out of the five, out of the top five preseason, now obviously I have a top 25 preseason, but out of the top five teams in that preseason poll, three of them are not ranked
Crazy,
now. That's Texas,
crazy.
Penn State, and Clemson. Texas was ranked number one preseason. Penn State was
Penn State
ranked
never.
number two
Okay.
preseason, and Clemson was ranked number four preseason. None of those teams are even ranked anymore.
Preseason ranks do not matter, and it just
No,
shows right there, man. They do not matter. You might have a few
absolute
that stick
carnage,
around.
man.
Yeah, crazy. My only other take really I had on the AP poll this week was, Miami jumped Oregon to the number two spot.
uh,
Completely agree. Personally,
I
think
agree.
Miami should be number one
I do
over the
too.
Buckeyes. I really do think Miami's had some key wins where they should be over the Buckeyes, in my opinion, at number one.
Yep.
So
Much better resume to this point.
yeah, I agree. I've said it before. I mean, Ohio State does have a ranked matchup against Illinois next week. We can say that. I can't say they don't have somebody on the schedule, but just not a very tough schedule for the most part. So um, Miami, just we said it, you said it. Looks like the best team in the nation right now. So
Yeah. I'm totally confident in saying that. The highest ranked SEC team, Ole Miss, they're still sitting there at number four.
yeah,
And then you've got a couple other SEC teams there, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. Yeah, I mean Alabama keeps creeping up. Obviously
yeah.
with their win over Vandy, that drops Vandy down to 20th. I think they were 16th going into that game. So after
And
the loss to Bama, they dropped down to 20th.
I think that's fair. They shouldn't have been knocked
Yeah,
out as a one loss there. Yeah, that's a fair. The AP poll was oddly fair. We have things to say about it. It was oddly fair this week, I think, for the most part,
yep,
from what I've seen.
yeah. It has its pros and cons,
Yeah.
definitely for sure.
You know, I mean, coming up in the week 7 preview, or later this week, that's when you'll want to pay attention to the real rankings when we rank the SEC teams. But
Yeah. That's
we
the
got to
fourth
speak
and
on the AP
whatever
poll.
pod.
Yeah,
That's the fourth and whatever podcast SEC
yeah,
rankings.
yeah.
It might be
Those are,
cool. We haven't discussed this, but it might be kind of cool because we actually we are at the midway point, or after next week will be the midway point
yeah,
technically,
because
I
it'll be
guess.
7 through. Yeah,
I think it might be cool to do we always do a top five on our Friday episodes. Not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. Let's rank the entire SEC again as like a mid-season ranking. That'd be
yeah,
kind of
we
cool.
could definitely do that. Throw out since we ranked them before, so see
Yep.
where we're at, see how different it is. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's definitely switched up. But yeah, we can definitely do that, man.
Heck
Um,
yeah, man.
yeah, AP poll this week, pretty fair. I don't really have many complaints on it. Adam, anything else really you got on this week?
No, I'm honestly kind of shocked that you know how they are sometimes, man.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that they dropped Texas and Penn State completely out. I
yeah,
mean,
me
it
too.
would be so AP Polish to
Move about
drop
like
them to like
20 or 24 or something, like some BS, man. And that's what I expected. And when Penn State
uh,
lost, I was like, they do not deserve to be in there, man. They better take them out, and they did. So I really can't complain.
maybe they
I really,
actually watched some football this weekend.
yeah, yeah, they actually turned on the TV and seen what was going on. But check out those highlights. But yeah, about time. But yeah, man. I didn't. We had said this episode. If you're watching, make sure to like and subscribe. If you like what we got to say, you want to hear some more about what we got to say. Hey, maybe if you don't like what we got to say and you want to argue with it a little bit, don't see what see what we got, and then
Yep.
throw in your comment. Let us know. But yeah, anything else you really want to add on this week, man?
Oh man, just thanks to everybody that's been following the channel, helping us build this thing as always. Spread the word. Just continue to follow us, continue to support us. All you got to do is subscribe, like, comment. You don't have to do anything else other than that. And be on the lookout for the App State game day footage that'll be dropping later this
Yeah,
week as well. And just be on the lookout for the future of this podcast, man, because we don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
absolutely, man. Hey, it was a good week of football. And as always, Adam, it's been a good time, man. And I'll see you later, dude.
All right, take care, brother.